Fox coming to you with a tutorial video on how to use the FV101 Scorpion. This tank is amazing if you really got it down, get a good commander, get it rolling good, and let me go ahead and show you how I set it up. You might have it set differently, you might have a different viewpoint as to how you want your tank set up. So I'm going to show you how I set it up. Now, as you see, it may not make a significant difference to you, but it does to me. The more shots I get down the line, the better. However, I prefer mobility over, you know, uh, the reload. However, I need accuracy and speed, mobility, reload, and these cover all those areas. Now, 20% shell accuracy is a monstrous difference. Now, even with me being, nerfed because of how far I've got into the tank, we have this 9-point commander where you have Born Leader, you have your rapid loading, your Iron Mace, which is great for a distance, especially with this thing having low pen. You could shoot from a distance, even at tanks that have decently low, uh, you know, armor versus a Centurion where you would have to be like right up on its hull to do any real damage. You might get lucky, and if he sits at an angle, you keep pegging at his hull, but 9 times out of 10 is not the case. Rapid aim, steady aim, snapshot, run and gun, and this one is my lifesaver, controlled impact, mainly because people love to ram. And this is my light tank commander, by the way. I'm not sure if anybody's caught on to that yet. But Adrenaline Rush is my other lifesaver. So when I'm really low on HP, my reload drops even more. So I'm going to show you guys how I run this tank. Not showing how you guys should run your tank, even though typically you should try to run it very similarly. And as you see that 93.70%, I'm trying really hard to 3-mark this tank. I'm going to go ahead and save that real quick. So while I'm on that, alright, so now that I got that saved, sorry for that little stall moment. Now, this is the FV1 Scorpion match you guys are about to see. Destroyed 4, damage 4200, direct hits 40. Now, the more shots you aim accurately, the better you do in this tank. Now, as you see, I have a 95%, which means, in this case, let's go to the scoreboard. I did get first, so let's explain this better. The efficiency report, as you see, penetration's 1. Now, let's actually take a step back. I do apologize. Let's go ahead and do the performance report. Shots fired, 50. Now, penetrations are 29. Critical hits are 8. Lots and lots of damage done. Now, here's the difference. Percentage of accuracy really determines how well you do in your tank when marking these tanks. The more you hit, the more damage you do, the more you move and don't stay still, the more you do better in your tank. I'm not saying go suicide run. I'm not saying just if you're not really good in it, don't run full on into an entire enemy rank unless you have absolutely all the ground to do so and all of the space to do so and the know-how to do it. So, enough of the talking, and let me show you what I do to make this tank so successful when the controller is in my hands. Now, there are times, I'm not going to sit there and act like I have perfect games every time. There is mistakes made, things happen, okay? You're not going to win every match. It's just what happens. It's going to happen. You're going to lose sometimes. That's just the way it works. You're going to get tracked 50 times. You're going to get a nerf match where people are going to keep smoking you when you know they should not be hitting you. There's times where they are penning you, where you know they should not be able to pen, and they're penning. It's a nerf match. You got to take the differentiation into its respects between a standard match and a nerf match. A nerf match, your aim's going to be bad, your pen's going to be bad, their is going to be buffed. Everything on their stuff is going to be buffed while your stuff is nerfed. So let's get this straight as to, yeah, always have your teammates, you know, that are doing their thing. No sense getting frustrated with them. I'm going to go give this guy a little love tap real quick. Doink. Now I'm going to move myself out of the way since people love driving correctly. Now this FV is going to get most of the spots, I am presuming. But luckily, I got into a spot. Now you see this guy. This is typically one of my first targets. The lowest armored tanks. Get them out first. The faster you get them out, the better it is. See, less tanks, less issues. So that's one gone already. Always focus on low HPs. Now, I am going to mark that 24. That was my original second target. But he's in a very, very busy traffic area. Now you saw that miss. I have 70 rounds in this tank, where 2 shots of the 6 that I've fired have now missed. Now I hit the 88, which is really low on armor, which is a great tank to shoot, and that was really close. M24s are known for ramming, M41s are known for ramming, so it's best to try to avoid them as much as you can and try to chase them and not have them chase you. I didn't know where the other tanks were, so I decided to hit that real quick. That was an accident, actually. I'm going to change that. I was joking. I was making a satire joke, but you know what? Forget it. I hit it by accident because I was actually going to go up the hill, but I said, screw it. Might as well go back. So here I am helping the 101 take out this 107. This is ideal because we do not want a 107 on the field. A 101 and a 107 are not much different than the other. Get them out of here. Now I'm taking my time with my shots. I'm not trying to miss a whole lot. Now, as you see, I'm literally trying to wait for him to drive straight. Now that I just got ran into my teammate, I turned around, changed my target. Easier target. For some reason, he was chasing me for no reason. There goes that 24. And got a nice little block off that dead body. Now refocusing back on the light tank. Always get the light tanks out first when you're a light tank. Get them out. Don't let them live. Less eyes, less speed, less mobility, less problems. Now, that is a tank you do not want to shoot right away. The Centurion has a really good armor. So always focus on weaker targets first, deter their numbers, increasing your chances of winning. There goes another low armored tank. Now as you see the E3, I penned through the side. That's because I didn't hit his track, I hit the undercarriage of his armor, therefore giving me the pen. And there's a nice little whack to the back of the E2. He's on fire. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. Missed him after the kill. I'm going to go ahead and get this E3 or E2 out of here. Keep calling it E3. Focus on the back end when it comes to an E2 or an E3. Now, seeing he's less HP, focus on the less HP. Yes, he has armor, but it's preferred that you go after the lesser armored tank. The Centurion's much more heavily armored than that 54, so get rid of the 54. Now, you're going to see the don'ts here. Now you see I shot in the front. Do not auto-aim on this thing. You're going to have to free aim, which is why I'm taking my time to shoot. And obviously, that wasn't good. He backed up. I'm trying to back up. He's going to go too fast for that reload. So this is also a don't. When you're going uphill in reverse, don't do it. Keep trying to pop his tracks to keep him immobile. That is the best way to go about it. Try to keep those Centurions immobile so you can take out the back ends and get them out of here. So there it is, guys. An easy win for Riot DeFox. And here it is, an NM. And there's a tank destroyer here, and I believe there's a barn over there on the right. I'm only going to get one shot on this NM, but that's not the point. Yep, there it is. 63 outed himself, slapped him, and got quick ground got the kill. So let's go ahead and take a look. 4286, 4 kills, 1700 XP. Now, I do a better job driving than I do explaining, if that makes any sense. See, it's just kind of common sense for some tanks. If you don't have armor, you go for those first. You go for the tanks that don't have armor. If you're nothing but HE oriented, go for the non-armored tanks. Go for the lights. Go for the lightly armored mediums. If you know where to shoot certain mediums, shoot them there. Get them out of here. You know, just do your job as a tanker. As you saw, this was a solo match. This was not a team match. So I want you guys to all realize the amount of effort that it goes into learning these tanks, learning exactly what their strengths and their weaknesses are. Now, let's go to the armor viewer of this tank. Obviously, everybody knows this thing has absolutely zero armor. However, here's the thing. You see all that extra spacing, that's spaced armor. That decreases the chance of pen. By drastic amounts, actually. Believe it or not, I've had more bounces off my back than I've had on any other part of my tank. That is thanks to the spaced armor. You use it correctly, you will bounce. Keep it at an angle if you're coming at somebody to increase the bounce potential. If you're going to run at somebody, let me rephrase that, try to swivel left to right. Just keep swigging left to right, swiggity swooty, and you should have a much harder target to shoot at. That is the point. You got to live to win, typically. Now, there are carries where people will carry, yada, yada, yada. Now, like I said, the commander is the most crucial. If you want a light tank, you want to focus on everything that has to do with accuracy, reload, and pen potential, because the tank is nothing but anti-pen, especially for HE rounds. HE rounds needs lots and lots of pen, and there you see 90 millimeters of pen for the standard HE round. That's not a lot. Now, let's see, let's say this, for example. Go to the armor viewer on the E2, the one I was shooting earlier. Now, obviously, this tank has zero armor in the back. You shoot it in the back. Down here, you see that lower plate? That is the preferred target. As you can see, these whited out areas, or grayed areas, however you want to say it, is spaced armor, or armor, potentially bouncing armor. So, if you want the highest chance possible of pen, shoot it directly into the lower plate. If you're auto-aiming, just shoot into the back. Do not bother shooting in the side. Now, you see that on the undercarriage of the E2. That's where you want to shoot if you're coming from the side. You shoot the tracks, you increase the chance of bouncing. You come at somebody like this, you have zero chance to bounce. You come at them like this, you have a higher chance, but it's still less. Do not, and I repeat, do not shoot the front of just about any tank, except for the TVP, any light tank so far that I've ran into, or the M50 Sherman. Now, here's the thing about the Sherman. This is something I'm going to teach you guys as well. The Sherman is one of those tanks you want to shoot in the side. It's one of those weird tanks that when you shoot it in the side, it shows more potential. You see, there's no armor. Now, here's the weird part about that. But it has no armor, hence why it's showing not gray, but still has a pretty good chance of bouncing. You have a higher chance of setting in a fire, but personally, I like to shoot in the side. Shooting in the front does do okay-ish. Now, I'm seeing it's roughly, you know, just barely past 55 millimeters, maybe 80 at the most. Now you see it's a kind of a lighter color than the rest of the tank from my point of view. I mean, I am wearing glasses, so it's whatever. Shoot it in the side, shoot it in the back. Do not shoot it in the front. Tyrants, especially, leave them be. The Tyrant SH, leave it be. Unless you have no choice in the matter. Shoot it in the side. Shooting it in the back even is rough. You got to shoot it where here. I have a pretty hard time with this tank as well, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. You see this? That's spaced armor. You shoot that, it's going to bounce. You shoot the undercarriage of that spaced armor, it'll have the best chance of pen. You keep shooting this spaced armor, you're not going to do anything anyways. But you see that angle, it still has a much lesser chance to bounce. That's why you got to wait for it to kind of raise up a little bit, then shoot it dead center. You have the highest chance of penning when something is dead flat. Now, on the other hand, you have tanks like the T100 where you could shoot it pretty much everywhere but the turret to do a lot of damage. Though preferably, if I were you, if it has to do anything with Arrow 1, preferably the side or the back. Tank destroyers. Now, the barn. Everybody has questions about the barn. The barn, you shoot in that big old dome of his. You don't auto-aim at the sides. It has nothing but spaced armor. Shoot it in the head. If it fires, stay still. Take your time to aim at the tank and shoot it. Right in the head. You got to free aim. You cannot be auto-aiming at a barn. You ain't going to do a lot. And if you're coming down at somebody, then yes, you can move around and fire on the move. You can. Just not preferably a good idea. Now the WZ, always the back. Shooting it in the side is pointless because it's like an IS. It's got really good slanted armor on the side. It's kind of pointless unless you're shooting down at the hull like this or in the back like this. Do not shoot that back. That is spaced armor. I don't know why it's called that. Now the NM, everywhere. Shoot it everywhere. No armor, everywhere. Just kill it. E3, no different than the E2. Shoot it in the back. Shoot it in the side armor. The 47, preferably back only. Shooting it in the sides, really risky. It has the highest bounce potential of any tank that I've ever played in my FV, so preferably shoot it here. Now, here's the trick question. Where to shoot an enemy FV101 or 107? Here's the funny part. Shooting it in the back is preferable, but not at the boxes. Shoot at the lower part, the turret, or the sides. The sides have the highest bounce potential. Do not shoot that side box. You see that box right there? That box right there, that little box shooting out just past the armor, that is spaced armor. Don't shoot it. It has the highest bounce potential. Shoot it in the front, shoot it in the hull, shoot it in the side. Don't shoot it in the boxes. If you are auto-aiming, I understand because you're trying to be all aware like I am with my tank, so I auto-aim a lot, which is what I was telling you guys. If you're going to go for the 95% or the 4 mark, now I'm struggling with it personally because I'm trying to get the tank 3 marked, and it's just not working for me because I'm keep missing my shots, and I don't necessarily die all the time. I just can't seem to land my freaking shots. So, yeah, it's just one of those tanks that you just got to really, really, really take your time and aim while you're on the move. I know it sounds crazy, especially with the 2.7 second reload, but that is the point of me having my reload so low. Yes, it does not sound like much of a difference, but to me, it is. The more time I spend aiming, the less time I want the reload. That's the point. So I could take like 5 seconds to finally get a shot, and that could have been 2 shots, damn near 2 shots. So that's kind of my point. But I don't want to miss. Don't miss. That is the point. That is how you get your marks. You don't miss. So now that I got a 95% on that last match, that's because I only missed a handful. Now you start with 70. So let's go back and do the math again. You start off with 70 shots. 40 of them hit. There was roughly, what, 20 shots, 25 shots left in my tank. So that means only 5, maybe 6 roughly missed. So that's pretty good. That's really good. You want to keep hitting, not missing. But yes, this is Riot Fox on FV101 Scorpion tutorial. Thank you all for teaching me how to be an absolute monster. KB especially making me a monster light tanker. I really appreciate your help in your training, teaching me when to fire, and teaching me real life lessons, killing me in return of not aiming. That is the point of this game. It doesn't matter if you're a teammate or not. You're going to get shot. You're going to have to eventually shoot each other. So the point is, if you know he's a good player, it's probably a good idea to get him out early. Now, KB is an amazing player. I tend to leave him alone for a little while. Does it seem like good sportsmanship? And even to me, it doesn't seem like good sportsmanship. But ultimately, we're here to help each other. We are a clan. That is the point of being in a clan, is helping each other out. So part of helping each other out is not killing each other quickly. So get them their damage, and then kill them when they're annoying you. Because you know eventually they're going to shoot you anyway. So once they get their decent amount of damage, then kill each other. That's kind of the point. But yes, I already know most people do not put it out there. And they should probably put it out there, because I guarantee you everyone does it. You should always kill your clanmates, no matter what, especially if they're on the other side. It teaches them to get better. If you're a better player, it's better to teach them by showing them what they can and cannot do with their tanks. That is why if you have a really low armored tank, to try to kind of hook yourself in a corner somewhere where they can't do circles around you, that limits their mobility and limits their ability to do a whole lot to you. That's what happened to that NM that you saw in that replay. He backed himself up against the wall, so I decided to put myself in front of him, which got me shot. Now, as you see, that's really not something you would want to do, but, you know, sometimes you make decisions that aren't that smart. It happens. Hence the do and don'ts of this. I should have just kept driving. Even hit up behind the building that was up in the upper right of me, as you remember into the replay. I could have hit up in there. Nope. I decided to sit right in front of him and shoot him where all the enemies can see me. There are times where you just don't think about these things and things happen. Welcome to World of Tanks and welcome to being human. But yes, this is Riot Fox signing off. Thank you very much, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment.